This is How America Was Stolen, Episode 40. Truth does not stay quiet forever. Episode 40 begins when acknowledgement starts to move beyond words. As public awareness grew, pressure mounted. It was no longer enough for institutions to admit harm in abstract terms. And into action, policy, and consequence. People began asking what accountability looked like in the present. And accountability made those in power uncomfortable. Government agencies issued statements recognizing historical injustice. Universities acknowledged land taken from native nations. Corporations admitted past complicity. But acknowledgement stopped short of repair. Apologies were offered without restitution. Recognition came without return. And native nations noticed. Episode 40 exposes a critical tension. Truth had been accepted, but responsibility was still resisted. Proposals emerged for land returns, revenue sharing, and stronger treaty enforcement. Some passed. Many stalled. Others were quietly stripped of power before implementation. Every step forward met hesitation. Because action threatened precedent, returning land would challenge ownership, enforcing treaties would limit authority, recognizing sovereignty fully would require structural change, and structural change was never the goal. So reforms were carefully managed. Small victories were allowed, symbolic, controlled, reversible. Larger demands were delayed, studied, or dismissed as unrealistic. The system tried to appear responsive without surrendering control. Episode 40 also shows how Native leadership adapted. They pushed policy, they ran for office, they entered legal institutions, environmental agencies, and academic spaces. They worked within the system, while refusing to forget its limits. But even inside, resistance remained. Native leaders faced pressure to compromise, to prioritize cooperation over justice, to accept partial solutions as final ones. The message was subtle but clear. Be grateful, and do not ask for too much. Yet history had taught them otherwise. Every promise without enforcement had been broken. Every reform without power had failed. So the demand sharpened. Not recognition, not apology, but return of land, return of authority, return of decision-making power. This demand unsettled the nation, because it forced a question no one wanted to answer. What does justice look like when the theft never ended? Episode 40 reminds us that truth is not the end of a story. It is the beginning of responsibility. And as Native nations pressed forward, the system faced a crossroads: evolve or defend itself. In Episode 41, that defense takes form, as political resistance hardens, revealing just how much America is willing to protect